Hey everyone, in this lecture I want to talk to you about an application called FOAP. This will be the updated lecture of the previous one, which you won't see because this is the updated version, so let's go ahead and dive on in. So what is FOAP? Well, FOAP is an application for mobile photographers, or the real life photography mobile space, or actually what they've changed it to now is just real life photography. Previously, in the early days when they had the application out, they focused on being the platform for stock images for mobile photography, but because a lot of people are submitting photos via taking them with DSLR cameras or handheld cameras, I think the community is getting really upset, where you have people really trying with taking pictures mobily and not using DSLR cameras or handheld cameras, and they're seeing a lot of people photos being sold that were taken with higher end equipment, and they didn't really think that's fair. So I believe they changed their whole outlook and tagline, being the real photographer place to buy photos, and that could be with a DSLR camera or a point and shoot or a handheld camera, things like that. And if that is the case, and that is something that you wish to do, and you can, now it's, if you want to call it cheating the system, and I think that's what people were doing before, if you wish to do that, to get the photos from the laptop or computer to your mobile device, you would use Google Drive. So just really quick, if we go to new window, or in Google, if we click on the little squares over here, we click on Drive, come to Google Drive, and then I have a little folder called stock photos, and every single photo that I would want to take from my computer to my mobile device, I would put it in here. And then if I go to my phone really quick, go to Google Drive and actually have it opened, I can click on a photo or tap on a photo and then save it right to my device. And then if I go to the gallery, there it is. It's been saved. So a photo I took on my DSLR camera now is on my mobile device, and then that can be uploaded to the application FOAP. So that is a way to take your photos even further if you do not wish to purely do mobile photography and use other types of devices, and that's okay. That is what the application's for. The end result of this whole lecture is you want to make the most money out of this application by using whatever you have in front of you, whatever works. And like I said earlier, people were getting a little frustrated that people were using DSLR type of shots, and they're like, hey, that's not fair. We're busting our butt taking pictures with our camera, and obviously your camera can't get quality like that. So they've changed it to the real life photographer stock photography market. So with that being said, there are a couple different ways to make money on this application, and there are two ways that I like to approach it. The first way is I like to see what's being sold. So right now, I tapped on what's being sold. I like to scroll through and see kind of what's trending, what works, what's being purchased, and things like that. In this case, the internet is wanting to load that photo. This one works. So we can see the different types of photos been bought, all the different tags. If we scroll through, it looks like London's very popular right now. So you could see changing of the guard here, a red telephone booth. So looks like the London photos are really getting popular right now. Now, if there's a world event in London right now that's happening, that could probably be the case. So I like to see what's trending on here, get an idea, and start uploading things on there around those trends. Another thing I like to do is check out the missions. Now, the missions are companies who are saying, hey, I need a photo of this, we'll pay $100, and then you can apply to the contest. I'll be talking about this in Snapwire if you haven't seen that already, but the way that it works with FOAP, what makes it different from Snapwire in 2020, the companies put out the application, or not the application, but the contest brief saying, hey, we want you to take pictures of Kahlua drinks, or pictures of shadows, or housekeeping, or whatever it is. In this case, let's use the Kahlua as an example. And we want you to take pictures of Kahlua drinks. We'll pay you $150, and then they'll give you an example photo you can check out. In this case, it doesn't look like it doesn't want to load. So sorry about that. Oh, wait, let's try it one more time. That doesn't want to load. Let's use a different one as an example. Let's do the Spirit of London one. All right, there we go. So, it gives you an example of what they're looking for, and then people can upload photos related to that. Now, as you can see, we saw a lot of London photos, so the reason why it was trending was because of this contest. And what's really cool about the application is there's a little button at the top called Join. Now, there are two ways I can do this. If I want to join the contest, I can tap it, and then it will kind of walk me through saying, hey, the best photo will be rewarded with the amount that is stated on the mission page. You say, okay, thanks, and then it says if you don't get rewarded, you'll still make $5 for every photo of the brand license from you. You say, okay, thanks, and then it says these photos might be used for commercial purposes. Make sure that all the people in the photos are aware of that. You say, okay. So then you go to your camera roll and upload photos, of London to it. I don't have any right now, so I won't upload it. I'm going to cancel. Now, what I don't like about these contests is that what you just saw, what I read, was they'll pick one photo. And that's what sucks. So you got like 133 people, or 281 people, or in this case, 918 photos for just $100. Now, is it really worth it? Probably not. I mean, what are the chances of you winning it? Probably very slim. I mean, if you're a really good photographer, go for it, go for it, do it. But I really don't pay attention to these contests in this application in particular. It's just sometimes there are not that many on there. Other times there are just too many photos in there where it's just a little overwhelming and you're not going to win. So that's why I just purely use FOAP just for the market purposes. And I'll see what's trending and then kind of go from there and put a photo in there, and hopefully it'll get purchased. And actually I had a couple of them purchased actually today. A couple of them were sold, which is really cool. So the way it works is for every photo that you sell, and they sell them for $10 a pop, it's split 50-50, so you get $5. But there's no licensing on it or anything like that. Multiple people can buy the same photo, and this works in your favor because if you have one photo that everybody wants, a lot of people can buy it. So if they bought it 50 times, it's a lot of money. 5 times $50. Do the math. So, that's what's the great thing about this application, where most stock photography websites will pay you like 20 cents or 70 cents or $1 for every photo that's being sold. So in this case, you're making more money by the mobile platform. And that's what's great about using DSLR cameras and handheld cameras, because you can take all that, or all those devices, and then put them onto the mobile marketplace. Because what I should have said earlier was this application is purely mobile. There is no website you can log into to upload your photos to the site. For example, Snapwire in 2020, both you can have profiles on there, both you can log in and upload photos to your profiles, and then it will show up on the application. In this case, when you log into FOAP on their website, you will see only a buyer platform, and that's the difference. So this is purely for the mobile marketplace, just strictly on the phone. And now this application is for both iPhone and Android, so it is for both markets. So if you have an Android, don't fret, you can use this application on there. I believe their setup is a little bit different via the UI of the application, but the premise is generally the same. I actually looked at the FOAP version for, the Android version for the FOAP application, and I like the layout a lot better than the iPhone version. It was a little bit easier to use. But other than that, really straightforward application, really easy to use. So the two ways to make money are the challenges, or to upload it to the marketplaces. And if you can see in the challenges here are the latest ones. They'll tell you which ones have rewarded money, any that I've joined, and the ones that have finished. And depending on the day or the time of year, you'll see either a lot of different challenges or very little different challenges. A lot of them will pay a good amount of money. Some people say, "Oh, it's only $5." Da da da. Some challenges do pay up to $2,200, $500. Most of them are about 100. As you can see here, Mastercard's 500 a pop. Again, 500, 500. Um, so there's a good amount of money to be made depending on you know what um, what contest you want to enter. But like I said, it gets really hard. For example, in this MasterCard one, there's 10,000 photos in there. What are the chances of out of the 10,000 photos you're going to be picked? So it really depends on the contest if you wanted to, you know, do it to make the money, but in the end, you're not hurting yourself if you join it. Your photo still will be put in the marketplace. It still will be uploaded to your profile. So, why not? But, don't get your hopes up thinking, oh, I'm going to win this. You probably have a little bit of a better chance winning a contest on Snapwire than you would on Folk, just in my own personal experience. Because I got nominated for a contest about a couple hours after I submitted a photo. So I was actually really, really surprised that it was a little bit easier in that application than it is in this application. But like I said, this application, I like it because I sell, photos at $5 a pop, and I make a couple, $100 doing it. It pays really, really well, depending on, when you want to cash out. You can leave your money in there, or you can cash it out. So that's generally it for the application. Just wanted to point all those things out. This is the updated version from the previous one. So if you've already watched the previous lecture, here's the updated one. And then if you're new to this, well, here's FOAP. Go download it. Go try it. It's a really cool application. Like I said, don't limit yourself to just doing mobile photography. Use your handheld camera. Use your DSLR camera. Hell, use your GoPro camera. Sometimes I'll even revert to that too. So use every device you can possible. Just make sure you're creative about it. Sometimes photos will sell that are just, your basic average photos, but as you can see here, the ones that are being sold are pretty interesting, pretty creative. Don't just take a picture to take a picture. So again, keep it creative. Think about the overall story you want to tell. Depending on the contest, read the rules, things like that. If you're taking a picture with a person in it, again, get a model release. You don't want to get into trouble if someone's photo ends up on a billboard for, let's say, cancer or prostate cancer or something, for a drug for it, and then you're like, uh-oh, sorry, I didn't know that I was supposed to get a model release. In those cases, you want to get a model release. And I actually heard a story that was similar to that, where some girl had her picture taken, and the photographer didn't get a model release, and then her picture ended up on a billboard for, I think it was a drug for AIDS or some really, really bad disease, and everyone thought that she had the disease, and she was really, really pissed, so she sued the photography company that sold the photo as well as the photographer, and she won. So, if you don't want to pay a lot of zeros in a check for someone, then definitely get a model release. I try to stress to tell it. Again, I'm going a little bit over in this lecture because I want to stress how important it is to get a model release. It's okay to take pictures of people when their faces aren't showing, but like for example this photo, but again, if their face is clearly showing, get a model release, and it will tell you that when you upload photos into this application. All right, so that's it. I'll see you guys in the next lecture.